guys, right now we're here at SeekaHost University. Me and Manuela is right now live. We are going to explain to you and walk you through about the types of web hosting services, a beginner's guide, and where you can find the types of web hosting services if you are new to the web hosting and you're like clueless what hosting package to pick on. So we want to take you through, show you this guide where you can find each package and what is good for each person when you're looking forward to get started a blog or a website, a personal or a business. So we're going to walk you through in this webinar. And hi, Manuela.
Hi, Fernando.
Hi. So yeah, let's explain to people what are we going to talk to today, and we will explain to our people.
Yes. So the reason why I think we should focus on this today is because I've been helping my friends with setting up their own blogs, and the kind of question they always have for me when we discuss how to set up the blog is they don't know anything about web hosting, and they tell me, oh, I don't really understand how to do it. Can you please do it for me? And then I tell them, well, yeah, I can do it for you, but really, ultimately, you should also know a little bit about it, because later on, if you ever want to build a bigger website or an online business, or if you want to build more websites, you just need to have a basic understanding of web hosting, because it is a crucial part of any kind of building a website or blog or whatever it is you want to build online. So that's why I decided this would be a good topic to cover, and that's why we have published this guide on SeekaHost, but also on SeekaHost University, because it's very, very interesting actually to learn about different types of web hosting and what web hosting is actually all about. And I have added a video here in this guide that explains how the internet works in 5 minutes. And I recommend everybody to watch this, because we don't really understand how it works, and we use it every day. So it's just really interesting to kind of get a brief overview of how it actually works. And then that will help you to understand the different types of web hosting services that you can get for your website. And I think for this video, or for this presentation, Fernando, I think we should focus on the best web hosting types that bloggers can use, or maybe small online businesses or freelancers maybe. So I think we can focus on those. So I have put here shared hosting.
Types of hostings, right? And also I actually want to tell a little bit of, yes, guys, like, so if you're pretty new, that guide is very in detail written, structured in a manner, explaining all these types of web hosting. So it's focused on how to choose the type of web hosting you need. If you're a beginner, if you're a business owner, if you're a blogger, if you're willing to start a website, what kind of thing, this breaks down each and every component, the features suitable for pros and cons of everything, things like VPS hosting. You can see what features is VPS hosting, who needs VPS hosting, and a dedicated hosting, who needs it. Some person might think like, oh, I need a dedicated hosting. No, you don't need it if you're just going to start a personal website or a blog, but like how you can look at those things and cut your cost as well. And if you're a business, what kind of things you need to go, what is cloud hosting, it's a large scale hosting, the similarities and differences between cloud and the VPS, a lot of comparison, right? It's most in detail guide on the web which explain everything about the types of web hosting, and it can be read even if you know about the web hosting, you've been using web hosting, but you never knew, somebody just told you to buy a certain thing, or your website is not loading fast. So this breaks down all the things you need to know, and it refers to the guides that we have written on SeekaHost and also on our blogs, which really break it down. So if you're interested about learning and further advancing your knowledge about web hosting, this is your thing. You can read and go into detail, and Manuela had broken down all the things, very simplifying, you don't need to have a high technical knowledge. You can be a normal person, just a blogger, but you can know in detail about what's good, why you should buy each, and the comparisons and things like that.
And I think it's also important for people to know what exactly they should look out for when they buy their web hosting, because there are a lot of providers out there who offer web hosting, but I felt when I started blogging and when I was looking at, different options, that the customer support is very important, because if you don't know a lot about how to, the technical side of it, it's very important to have a good and quick, maybe live support as well, which I find very important. And then I've put here the online web hosting consultant as well, which, SeekaHost offer. And I think that's also very important, because it helps you to, to kind of establish, okay, what like the first steps, what kind of options do I have? So it's all these little things that you should look out for. And we explain this in detail in this guide, really.
Yeah, this is a really detailed guide, and also it links to the other guide we have written on
Yes.
SeekaHost.com, which is written by Gautam. Right, it's explained to you that the main 8 types, and it really breaks down. And also, I have another very extensive guide on my own blog as well.
Yes.
Which is also, I saw you have linked, which gives the breakdown of the other, like the types of website, which even talks about PBN hosting, which is the private blog network hosting, SEO hosting, who should use SEO hosting, the differences.
Is it this one? What is web hosting services?
Yes.
One,
It's actually it's giving the basic explanation, but it links to the types of my article as well. So this is basically covering what is web hosting. Some people don't know. If you're really new to, some people really don't know. All I say is like we get clients even saying, "Oh, I want a website." When we say you need to buy a domain name and a web hosting, they're like,
exactly.
"Why is that?" Right? So this is catering into that one, the history of website, what is a website, the difference of a website, and all those things it breaks down in this article. And it gives the full the terminologies are also explained about web hosting. So pretty new to web hosting, into computers and the stuff, you got to learn this, read this article. It covers all those things. Also, I have a lot of articles about SEO hosting advantages, C-class, things like that. It breaks down. So pretty much we covered everything a person needs to know about web hosting. So that's why that ultimate guide gives you all these references Manuela had pointed out, where you can go through and read, and that gives you to understanding, okay, this is what I'm actually planning to start. This is the type of hosting I want, right? So these are the top web hosting: shared, VPS, dedicated, and cloud, which is like very, very famous ones. On top of that, you have other things like I mentioned, class hosting, SEO hosting, PBN hosting, all covered though.
We cover them in the guide, and the reason I put them here is because they are probably the best ones for bloggers or for online businesses, I would say. So we can just have a quick look at the guide that we have produced, and we can just quickly share maybe some pros and cons of them. Because so the shared hosting we have put here as the beginner's buddy, and I think especially if you don't want to spend a lot of money in the beginning, this is probably a good option for you, because it's cheaper and it just gives you the basics. So it's cost effective, easy to set up, and it's professionally managed. So you don't need to worry about technical maintenance, backups, upgrades, and all of that stuff if you're not really into these kinds of things. And also you have to think about, okay, is your website going to get a lot of traffic? If in the beginning you're only starting with a small blog or website, then this would be suitable for you. But for a bigger scale website, of course, this is not really good. Sometimes this can have a slower loading time, which of course, if you want to grow your blog, ideally you should have a speedy loading time for your website, because Google will look out for that and will kind of punish websites that load slower by ranking them lower. But I think for the beginning, if you're just starting out, if you're just building it, it could be an okay option to start with.
I mean, shared is actually, the shared web hosting we offer at SeekaHost is pretty fast. So, like, we have thousands of customers are using that. It's a shared resource. It's like basically, let me tell you, like if you'll get to the same place. So if you taking a bus to travel somewhere or public transport, you're sharing with other people, but still it get the job done unless you want a
Yeah.
really bad bus. And if you
Yeah.
want, we will get into further, if you want dedicated resources only for you, you take Uber. Or else you buy your own car and there is
Yeah.
somebody to drive it. Or else you buy your own car, you drive it. Right. So this is exactly how the web hosting works. Shared hosting is basically shared resources sharing. Other people are also hosting their website on the same server.
Yeah.
However, it's fine to get started. It's basically the cheapest, the lowest, the price option to get started, and it's good to go unless you grow up a blog to like get like millions of traffic or tens of thousands at a day.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
our shared hosting is pretty much like going really well. Nobody's complaining and the stuff, but with the scalability, there are options. There are like things, but this is a very good explanation about the shared hosting, who's suitable for it and things like that.
Yeah, and I think SeekaHost will always help people, right, with the technical side.
Yeah.
So
All the things actually
yeah,
technical side, understanding, even like most first comers, they know when they want web hosting, this is what they end up buying. But
yeah,
when they actually explain to you, oh my, I'm getting this much of traffic, a little bit of slow, what should I do? My website is growing, space I needed more. Then the upgraded options happen. So the
yeah,
support department from their own account, they can ask it, and we help them, even like chat support, live chat support, also in the phone
yes,
support as well. So
yeah.
yeah, all this helping happening.
I think that's really important for people to understand. So, I want you to understand that once you buy one type of hosting, it doesn't have to be the type you stick with. It
Yeah.
can be the one you start with, and then later, when your needs change and your requirements change, as Fernando said, in the live chat in your account, you can easily change that. And the team, that the live chat team, they will be able to help you with that as well, to give you advice on it. But it's very easy in your account. You can see all these options, and it's very easy now to navigate and to change. So
Yeah.
that's another plus of the web hosting offers that SeekaHost have. So now let's move on to virtual private server hosting.
Yes.
Because I think that is one you also wrote an article about on your
Oh yeah, I
blog.
have explanation about what is VPS hosting, which actually in my blog, which is break into typical virtual private server hosting. It's high performance. We have explanations written. This next video I did with Gautam explained everything about what is basically this one of our VPS hosting packages we offer in even the Indian bloggers like really want like super fast hosting with their own dedicated resource, but will be managed by us. Right, and so this video gives the entire explanation what is VPS hosting on top of the article that I had linked to. But it has the features, private resources are located for the user, that like it's pretty good, the machine, and runs on Linux and Windows operating system. So all those things, and you can
so
listen to
compared to the shared hosting, this would be, so your website would be hosted on a private server.
Yeah, via VPS, virtual private server, right? Yeah.
So
This
you
is
wouldn't
high in performance. This is basically a really high in performance for ideal for bloggers who also want their own like high performance server hosting solution. Good for businesses. Mostly businesses take it VPS more than like individual bloggers or personal website owners. Just definitely like there are people who still get like even VPS or dedicated hosting at a personal website level because they want to protect their own thing. That's their business. But mostly small businesses, e-commerce website owners, which large traffic goes for the VPS hosting.
Okay, so we say that in the article as well. We say e-commerce sites with average traffic. That would be really good. And even if you have multiple websites, it's a good resource. So, and the pros, obviously, high scalability, and obviously reliable uptime, and better security features. I think that's another thing that we should mention, because security is becoming more and more important, isn't it, with all the hacks happening and everything. So I think obviously the more you spend on web hosting, the better the security levels are.
Yeah, that's why the managed web host, WordPress hosting, even this dedicated. And actually, I mean, when it comes to virtual private servers and dedicated hosting, it's very high SQL hosting. It's pretty
Yeah.
good. What we offer on SeekaHost is nothing to people to worry. Like it runs on perfectly. It's like that. We have even the managed WordPress options and everything. But yeah.
Yeah. So let's look into dedicated hosting then, because I think that's kind of similar, isn't it?
It's actually it's a dedicated resource, just your own server, right? You only, like some people actually manage it themselves if it's as a business, or else we manage it, because mostly dedicated hosting we at ours, like we manage it for them. And it's a higher version, completely only your website is hosted, your dedicated
Okay.
hosting. You buy the dedicated service, like you buy your own dedicated hard drive from us, the space, and either we manage it or else you can manage it yourself, that's like a level completely.
Okay.
It's like the utter, like the really the high-end solution
Yes.
for a business owner, for a business. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it's really the high spec, isn't it, or
Yeah.
end of web hosting. So who do you think would be suitable for this? So we put here large businesses. Is that correct? Would you agree?
Yeah. Large businesses can be smaller businesses. Like I would say, like if you want to have your own thing, even if you're a small cleaning company, or rubbish removal company, or dental practice, go for your dedicated hosting. Then it's like supersonic performance. So this is the ultimate performance you're gonna get, and that's why even in UK we offer the dedicated London servers. So even on seekahost.co.uk we offer that, and it has all the explanation about the dedicated server hosting and why it's good. We really recommend the London server hosting and things like that for UK London-based businesses to get the highest optimal performance. Same thing wherever you are based. It's a good starting solution. Most established businesses get it once they move from the startup to like the proper business level. When they have growth plan, dedicated hosting is the go-to place. Either virtual hosting, if not you want your own, only you are hosting your website, so you go for a dedicated hosting.
Yeah, and I think what I also want to point out is if a website has high media content, this is something you really need to consider. So if, in the beginning, when you build your blog, you don't have a lot of videos on there or photographs, then it's fine to go for the lower cost option. But if you really want to build your blog and you want to add lots of videos, you want to show high spec photographs on it and podcasts and whatever, then you really need to think about upgrading your web hosting, because this will slow down the loading time, and you really don't want that to happen, because people will not stay on your website if it just takes ages to load. So
speed matters.
Speed really matters.
Your website speed has to be top notch. Speed really matters. It's for your SEO, everything. Just imagine if the speed is slow to load, nobody's going to wait till they go to the next site. There is choices, endless choices on the web.
Yeah, exactly.
So
and it's also going to affect your SEO, isn't it?
Oh yeah, very, very big, man.
Yeah, exactly. Because obviously Google notice how long people stay on your page or on your website, and if the bounce rate, that's the rate called how long somebody stays on your website, if that is really high, so meaning people go quickly and don't stay very long, then that will also affect the rankings of your website as well, which is why we always say, go for the high spec option if your website is growing, and if you really need just a bigger package and more features basically. So dedicated hosting, definitely a good option for businesses and even bloggers who are making a living with their blog, right? Yeah. Okay, so then shall we quickly cover cloud hosting as well?
Yeah, we have the cloud hosting, all the things actually what we want to give, like it's a very detailed guide, like for anybody, you can really, it has the explanation, we give it to the thing. What is cloud hosting, who's good for the cloud hosting. Cloud hosting is something really picking up, right? A lot of people like asking cloud hosting without even knowing what is cloud hosting. So that's why this guide is very important, because you don't need cloud hosting when you're really starting out, right? And then but if you really want, you can consider these factors and make your own decision. So this is why this guide is put into place, explaining all the features, what is a cloud hosting, why you need it, you need to spend that much money, how you can take even the transition. Ideally, start from share hosting, then move to the VPS, then to the dedicated. Actually, when I was even like back starting, that's exactly we took to the time of we build the web hosting business. But before that, when I'm using other providers and all, I started with the shared hosting. Then came to VPS, then came to dedicated. Then I'm hearing cloud, 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 cloud. So I would ask customer and the people, what is cloud hosting? We need that, right? And then we started selling cloud, like dedicated hosting, all those things. So these are the things people can go into. All things covered here, which you can read below this video and question us, and live chat support and the team really will help you understand what you need at what point really.
Yeah, and I think it's important for people to know, first of all, before they choose the web hosting, what they really need. So I think that's why it's also good to read these guides first, because that will help you identify, okay, what do I need for my website right now, and then based on that, you can decide what kind of web hosting is probably the most suitable for you. So yeah, we recommend you go through these guides first. So the one on SeekaHost University and the one here on SeekaHost as well. And you will find lots of, even more in-depth posts and articles on SeekaHost as well about different kinds of web hosting. And Fernando on his blog, he also shares more knowledge about different types of web hosting as well. So we have a lot of resources about that.
And it actually break down things like even going about the web hosting, the packages, and like the PBN hosting and SEO hosting, pretty advanced solution. The people who know it knows about it, but I have written so many guides about what is a private blog network hosting, who needs it, what is class IPs. So what I would really say, it's hours of explanation if I just to explain the basic, which I have already written and covered over the video. And Gautam and me had even done videos about what is SEO hosting, a very in detail 20-minute video breaking down everything about SEO hosting and even explaining our packages, right? So it's
and I think what I want people to also know, especially if you are watching and you're just thinking about getting started online, is also how to do the domain search and registration, because whenever people come to me and say, hey, can you help me with setting up my blog or my website, they don't even know how to look for a domain, for example. So, then I explain to them, you have to think about a name, of course, and all these things. So it's actually not that easy, I think.
When you're starting, really, I remember I paid just to get WordPress installed alone. I paid £70. I still remember that day when I was starting out back in the days. Here I am. We're running because but it's very complicated at the beginning. So that's why we are simplifying everything at SeekaHost University and educating you from the point of starting and building online presence.
So on the SeekaHost page, you will see it's very, very easy to register a domain. Super easy, super quick. So you just put your domain name in here and see if it's available. If it is available, you will be given different options, whether you want a .com or .co.uk or .net or .org. And it's really straightforward. The only thing that I would recommend is do your research first. So for example, I'm currently helping one of my friends build a travel blog, and I had to speak to him first about, okay, what are you focusing on? What are your goals? Like, what do you want people to look for when they come to your blog? And you really have to think about that when you think about the name of the website, because it's so important, isn't it, Fernando, that it has a kind of like a purpose.
Very important. It's really, that's the thing actually we even covered about, like how to start a blog guide and all, right? We have it. So basically, you got to pick your niche, right? And then how you pick your domain name, shorter the bigger, how you do the keyword research. So there is a very approach we have put together even on SeekaHost University, the blog starter guide, right? How to start the blogging guide, explain to you exactly all those things about step by step, how to start your own blog, how do you pick your domain name, how you do your keyword research, how you come to conclusion that this is the ideal domain, how you understand your industry, which is the niche, right? You should test whether you can do about it. Do you have a passion? All those things matters when it's starting. All those results, the web hosting and the so domain name and the things are vital. That's where you will build on your property. Web hosting,
I think
as the land.
maybe we should show it on your blog, because
what do you want to show?
We have the blogging page.
It's still coming. No, on the SeekaHost University, there's a blogging course, you know.
Yes, of course, there is a blogging course as well. Yeah. But I think here this is also really good because it shows step by step, you know, how
all these links are mentioned as well, where to do all these things. This is actually a real explanation about what is blogging.
Yeah.
How to identify, how to like pick and everything.
Yeah,
what
exactly.
we explained, you know.
Yeah.
Like
here find a unique domain name, you know, and register the domain, and we give obviously all the support as well, especially with, you know, when it comes to then set up the website, which theme you want. It's all, you know, things, of course you can change them later, but some of these things you really need to think about before you get started even. And I think it's important for people to understand that. So that's why we're putting all these resources for you together, so that you can really get started on the right foot and get get started in a successful manner, so that later on you don't have to worry. And
not really. So even this blogging academy, once you read it, join the thing, we have all these resources and things are coming down. And
so we have the blogging course. Shall I show it quickly?
Yeah, show it.
So in the ultimate blogging course, we cover all these, you know, all these basics. So you will really understand how to set up the blog, how to register the domain, and everything is explained step by step, literally. So it's a really ideal for everyone who wants to start a blog, really. Yeah, really good comprehensive course. And I think if people also want to understand a bit more about expired domains, we have a few resources about that as well, don't we? I think on SeekaHost.
We have it. If it's just a matter of like, we not only have like expired domains on SeekaHost.com website, the expired domain buying guide, investing on expired domain, what are expired domains, and also we are giving away free expired domains on a daily basis for anybody, because the expired domains are a really good way to get started if you find the right domain, because it really cuts down your work when you build a brand, really. Like, so for example, especially in the SEO side of the things, because if you can buy good expired domains with good backlink profiles, they will get indexed fast, they will rank very fast. So the work you need to put to get it in the front of the Google and things like that, it's much less.
I think that's very, very good to know, because I recently did some research on it for the book that we're going to publish very soon about making money online. And I realized that a lot of people actually use this, not just for their own website. So obviously you can use an expired domain to build your own website, but a lot of people also kind of like trade expired domains. So it's almost like stock trading, but with expired domains, because some of them are very
industry. It's a huge industry. People expired domains, investing in expired. Some people buy and keep a domain for years to just sell it at a higher time.
Yes, exactly.
So there are interesting stories, like like how people sold these domains for huge amount of money. They kept so because expired domains. So in my guide about expired domains, investing expired domains, I really talk about it. Actually, it's on the SeekaHost.com website. It goes into detail. So if anybody's interested about expired domains and setting things up, that covers it exactly. And we not only we helping people. We try to do live shows. Dinesh, myself, and some of SeekaHosters dropping expired domains live on our PB and Demystify group for people who want to build blogs or have those expired domains under themselves and sell later stage and make money.
So can people find it here?
Which one? Yeah, it's on the blog. So if people just go to the SeekaHost blog.
Oh, sorry.
So this is the page which we give free expired domains on a daily basis. It's even on Google if a person looks like free expired domains. If you go to the footer, you can see, click on the footer, go to the footer.
Down.
Yeah. And then click on the thing called, just click on the blog.
The expired domains buying guide.
It's the buying guide, but it's in the blog. It's on the top.
It's on the blog. Okay, well, I mean, I think, yeah, people will get a good idea anyway if they come to, you know, the SeekaHost page, and they can find all this in-depth information about free domains, expired domains, and you know, all the domain registration information. We have everything on there, really. So yeah, but I think it's important for people to know where to find this information, because if you really don't have any clue, like I did when I started, it's really, really eye-opening to read about these things, because it will change maybe your decision making. It will impact your decision making when it comes to your own website, and it's important that you know these things before you know, move on with your website and setting it up and running it, because especially when it comes to the web hosting, as we explained, it can make a big difference later on if your website really picks up and you get a lot of traffic. You just want to optimize it, so it's good to know all your options, really. So yeah, I think
those are the things. Really, we really covered everything. So as we showed on the SeekaHost, we have the courses, the articles, and the guides. Everything is there. If anybody is into, like, we really support from the domain name to the buying guides, the SeekaHost web hosting packages. Not only that, we want you to make sure you have everything to be clarified, like clearly understood, and build your online presence. So we talk about, it's like really building online virtual properties, you know. So that's why the SeekaHost University brings these kind of weekly live sessions as well as videos on our YouTube channel. And myself comes, and you can ask questions. You can also shoot us an email and ask, like, what areas you need to be covered. If you're planning to start a new blog, we help you live support, we help you build, and we sometimes even build for people their own blogs.
So exactly. Like that, yeah, that's an important point. I think we should mention as well, because when I help my friends, they always tell me, oh, I really don't have time to build my own blog. I don't have time to sit down, and I don't understand how it works. So a lot of people, they have an idea of what they want their blog or their website to look like, but they don't know how to make it look like that. So we obviously help you find maybe a theme that would be good for you, and then how to optimize that theme so that it looks good. You can even individualize it. You know, there's lots of options there. And with our web design team, we often really help people to make it look the way they want it to look. So I think if you're looking for a quicker option and, you know, giving it to an expert, I think is often a good choice, because you do not waste your time. You can focus on writing your blog, on the content, while somebody else makes it look really amazing for you. So yeah, good thing you pointed that out, Fernando, because I think a lot of people just want to get started and they want to have it look amazing, and then they can start posting articles and creating all the content that really only they can create.
That's the thing. So all these things and the help and support is available, and SeekaHost, for all of you guys seeing this on Facebook Live, and follow us live on YouTube channel as well. Starts joining the SeekaHost University, where you will be getting weekly videos done by me, Manuela, and all our team members. So you'll be learning throughout the way. You can send an email, ask us for support that you need. And we want to make sure you really build amazing web properties online, plus make money and grow your brand, all those kind of things.
Yes, and we continue to publish more articles, more guides, more books, so that you really find a whole, I would say, a whole arsenal of lots of different types of whatever you're looking for when it comes to not just web hosting, but everything regarding getting online and getting started online. We really try to cover everything that we can think of. But obviously, if you have questions that we haven't thought of yet, please forward them to us, because we're always happy to answer everything we can. And then we can also maybe publish an article about it or a guide. So yeah, we're really more than happy to help wherever we can.
Yeah. So yeah, lovely session. So everybody, thanks for listening for this one. We'll be coming to you with more and more videos of such, and join us on Facebook and on YouTube. We'll be coming back to you with some exciting online skill acquisitions and things like that in the future videos.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you very much, and we hope we can help you in the future.
Thank you, guys.